So something that came up at the meeting that we just had online was about the fine line and the razor's edge we walk between exploring and unveiling and unpacking emotions, our personal history, ancestral wounding, and how to deal with it. So looking at the story, if you like, and then on the other hand, coming back to a deeper equanimity of awareness and seeing through the illusion of the not just the story maker, but the incessant looking back into the past and the incessant looking into the future. The tendency to fixate on the self is what we're really talking about. And of course, these two things live in tandem, they're in union, because we are here, we have a history, we have stories, we have wounds in the past that we carry into the present, and that needs to be recognized, because we still also have to live on this mortal coil. But in true spirituality, in a sense, in presence, there is no story. In presence, the self dissolves into the ocean of being. And so, to overindulge it too much is like fixating on something that doesn't, in essence, really exist. So we've got an issue of a kind of razor's edge, if you like. And I think what came up for me, the reason why I'm talking about it now is because it's actually very individualized. There's no tactic, there's no real method, there's no real process. It's like everything that happens to us and everything that has happened to us in many ways is a catalyst for coming into a deeper presence, is a catalyst for seeing through the illusion of conditionality, in the sense that we are reminded and invited really by the divine, or by what we could call natural intelligence, to remember that nothing about us essentially can be harmed. Nothing about us essentially has been broken. Nothing about us essentially is flawed or unworthy or less than. Nothing. And we are always held, and we are always in an unconditional embrace, as unconditional love. And so knowing that, in a way, or feeling that our essential nature is union, but we've forgotten and become compromised so much that we've become habituated just to conditional living. So this allows these two seeming opposites to coexist, one in the world, the other one not of the world. And these two are wholeness and, if in a way, our brokenness. And to drop the idea that we can endlessly just stay on the path of fixing ourselves, because it doesn't really work. It certainly doesn't lead to, it works to a certain extent and then it stops working. It kind of leads us fixing and fixing and fixing and working on the self, brings us to a door. But through that door there is no fixer. Through that door there is a deeper love. Through that door is where the unknown is. Through that door is where the mystery is. And eventually on the path, we're called to surrender into that mystery. We're called to accept on a much deeper level than we have done, and to forget about trying to fix the self, and as it were, come underneath it to a much deeper acceptance of the human condition, particularly as it's arisen in us. And this is a great boon and a great relief to the human being, really. It really is, because it's like, you mean I don't have to fix that part of me? And the answer is yes, you don't have to fix that part of you. Neither can you bypass it, but to love it and to accept it and to allow it to come back into the union that we are and always were but forgot completely, is where real healing is. There's a real healing in that, to allow oneself to remember the unconditional love that we are, allows the conditional to come home.